If there was a sequel worth waiting 42 years for, Mel Brooks' History of the World might be it. Finally, fans are getting part 2, and it's filled with even more historically questionable facts than even before. Take a look.
What ideas have you got for Shakespeare?
What if we do a play, but it's got music and singing?
Someday the masses will adore me as together we stand tall.
Anyone else with a good idea?
And stars and executive producers of History of the World Part 2, Ike Barinholtz and Nick Kroll join me now. Welcome. Nick, did History of the World Part 1 or any other Mel Brooks films shape you as a comedian?
More than anybody, Mel's work, I own the VHS of History of the World Part 1, but all of his movies, from like The Producers, Blazing Saddles, Young Frankenstein, History of the World, into Spaceballs and beyond, like that formed more than almost anything else in the world, my comedic sensibility.
Ike, what about you? Do you remember your first time seeing the original?
Absolutely. We were at Big Mel Brooks' house, and I remember seeing Blazing Saddles when I was like 4, which is maybe not great parenting. But then I shortly afterwards watched History of the World, and I was just obsessed with it for many, many, many years. So when Nick called me, I disappeared, and like the outline of me as a cloud was still there, you know, like in like a Looney Tunes cartoon.
And then Nick, what was the process like getting Mel on board? I feel like I should call him Mel Brooks.
Well, yeah, it's funny when you sort of be like, well, Mel and I said that to someone recently, like, you just called Mel by his first name. And I was talking to Martin Shkreli, not Marty Scorsese. Mel, they approached us about doing the show. So it's the craziest incoming call I've gotten in my life. That was quite a surreal experience.
And then the cast is just comedy gold. Who were you most excited about signing on to this? And then did the talent or the characters come first in terms of what sketches happened?
I mean, it depends in terms of the second part of the question. There were some people that the second we mentioned we were doing this character, we were like, boom. Like, I remember when we were writing the Russia thing, and we're like, who could play Lenin? And Nick's like, I'll tell you who, Rob Corddry. And then when he walked onto set, I gasped, because I was like, he looks exactly like Vladimir Ilyich Lenin. Insane. And, you know, for me personally, it was this wonderful combination of reuniting with old friends that you maybe haven't seen in a while, but then working with people that you've always idolized. For me, I've been a big Jack Black fan since I saw him in like Bob Roberts. And for him to come and like get up and do basically like this huge musical performance was definitely one of my personal favorites.
And what ended up being the craziest sketch to film?
I mean, the craziest, you know, Jackass, or Jack Rasp rather, with Johnny Knoxville's Rasputin was pretty insane.
We brought in Lance Bangs, who directs and shoots a lot of the Jackass movies. So seeing it, and like we were like, oh, let's just get the cameras they use, and Lance is directing it. And there's a moment, if you know the Jackass milieu, basically you always pan over and see Lance Bangs, the director, cameraman, puking, and we have it in the show as well. It's
so good. Really quick, will there be a part 3?
Have you heard anything?
I have not.
Because honestly, we were hoping that New York Live would be able to fix the story, because we have not heard anything.
And I just ordered a new Bugatti.
Good. I'll put it out there, and I have no power, but we could pretend. So thank you, and congrats on part 3. Well, History of the World Part 2 premieres on Hulu Monday, March 6th, with 2 episodes dropping every day. Thanks, guys.